a good guy, but like I could say things in a scary way and just try to scare people. The whole idea of being the masked stranger to scare people. In those 3 months when I was on my dark side, I asked for a WTW title shot. They said that you can get one, but you gotta be in a number 1 contenders match. So I was in the number 1 contenders match for the WTW title to see who would go on and face the WTW champion at whatever the next pay-per-view was. But the saddest part about that match, the number 1 contender match that I had, was that there was a rookie. A rookie came in. His name, Tcaps. He came in feeling so great. He had a little girly voice. I really thought that, oh my god, you know what, this kid stinks. Why the hell is he in this company? Who is he? At that point in time when I was in that match facing him, I started to get the hang of, wrestling and stuff, and I was becoming one of those, I guess you could say, legends in tout wrestling. We faced, and at the end of the match, a rookie got a shot at the WTW title. He won that, which I found really confused because that was his debut match. On his debut match, he beat a person that was becoming an expert, and he just beat me. And I knew more about tout wrestling than he did at the time, and it was what it was. See, but I want you, everybody that's watching this, to keep this in mind. Ahmed, we've had a lot of fun together, but I'll get into that later. That happened with all those matches with Ahmed Tcaps, and I was kind of a little mean about it. But then there was a Royal Rumble, Battle Royal, at some pay-per-view for us. Whoever won got a surprise at the end. See, JS's best friend, JGI at the time, he's also a tout wrestler, he told me what it was. I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, but he told me what it was. It was going to be the first ever hardcore champion who ever won. So I totally forgot about the WTW crap, and I just focused on winning that match. And I said to myself, you know what? I need to win. I need to win this because, you know what? I am hardcore. I went through 2 people. I was 2 personalities at the time. I was the masked stranger and Tcaps, and I think I went in that match being the masked stranger. If you came at the end of the Battle Royal, I won the hardcore championship. I was so hyped because everybody knew that I was hardcore, whether people thought it or not, but I was hardcore. I said whatever I had to say to win. I was. And I didn't even care about the WTW title at the time. All I focused on was that hardcore championship. And that's it. When the hardcore champion started, I started as the hardcore champion. I actually finally got a chance at being a champion in WTW. And I was happy about it because me being I was more happy of being the hardcore champion, the first ever hardcore champion, than being a WTW champion. I held that title for about 3 months. I battled so hard to keep that title, and I did it, and it was just so much fun, and I love that title to death. When I lost that title, I knew for a fact that I would be lost. When I won that title, I wasn't masked stranger anymore. I went back to Tcaps, and then I progressed. I obviously came out with a new look and stuff, and it was just I was just way more advanced than I ever was after I won that hardcore title. But the people that I faced to defend that hardcore title, they were just easy people, and some of them were really hard. And I did everything I could to keep that title, and I did, and I held it for a long time, until I needed a challenge. I really, really needed a challenge. I thought it over. As everything was going on, all of this. I wasn't sure if I was ready yet, but, you know, I was like, you know, me and this kid have been best friends for a little bit now, and I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to kick his ass. I went out one night, and I told JS, this is what I want. At the next pay-per-view, whatever pay-per-view it was, I can't remember. But Money in the Bank, there we go, yeah. It was WTW Money in the Bank. It was a day that I'll never forget. I wanted to make a main event. Something that people would talk about for a long, long time. I said that I wanted a challenge. I wanted to face the Destroyer, my best friend on town. I knew that I was the best friend with the Destroyer. We had the Mass Destroyers together. We had this, we had that. We had so many things that we were just best friends about. And then I asked him. I asked JS to give me this match. And he did. He gave me what I wanted. The match. But see, I didn't want it just to be a normal match. You know, I didn't want it to be like a normal match, me versus the Destroyer, and then everybody forget about it. I didn't want that. So, me, of course, what I love to do, I love to make challenges for myself, and sometimes I go overboard. I asked JS for a 3 stages of hell match. Fine. The first match was a crowd brawl. The second match was old school, you act like your favorite superstar. And the last match was just, well, a promo match. So nervous going into that match because I knew if I lost that hardcore title, I wouldn't be me anymore. I probably would go back to the Mass Destroyer or, Mass Stranger. But I was nervous. That match, we were in. First part of the match, that crowd brawl. People attacked me more than they attacked the Destroyer, which I thought was a little. I didn't think anything about it, but every single thing I said, every single thing I did, after that I was nervous so much. It was so bad. And the first stage comes, and I lose because of the crowd. First stage, the Destroyer wins. Then the second stage came. I dressed up like John Cena because, again, he's my favorite wrestler of all time. See, I knew I had to do something different than him being The Rock. I had to do something different, and I had to make myself explode, I guess you could say. So I did the stupidest, most embarrassing thing in my whole life. Through the second stage of the match, okay? I'm actually a really good rapper, but that was just really bad. Like, it was just... So, I knew I lost that second match right off the bat. I knew I lost it, but JS comes out and he says, the winner of the second match is me. But I said to myself, JS, you're screwing the Destroyer over. And I know that sounds like a little weird, like I should be happy that I'm moving on to the next match, but I like things to be fair. I don't like anybody to get screwed over. So what I'm trying to say was, the match should have ended at the second stage, and it should have been done. But see, I don't think JS realized that I said, we're going to go through all 3 stages no matter what. I don't think he realized that, so we did it in a pattern type thing. He made Christian, a.k.a. the Destroyer, win the first match, me lose the second, then him win the last. No, I just gave away who won the last stage. The Destroyer won the last stage. But it should have ended at the second stage where it belonged to end. But that's where now all this stuff started to happen. One day for Tcaps, and I said, I think it's time. The Destroyer was my best friend at that point, and so I said, you know what? I need another CEO, because Chase, I don't know what he was doing, but he was just being, I guess you could say, a little jerk. He never showed up anymore. He pretty much quit. He walked off. So I needed somebody else to run the company with me. The person that I could most trust, and it was the Destroyer. The thing about picking with Destroyer, though, I told him that he was the second CEO. He could do anything he wanted. maybe that was a little bit of a bad choice for me. But I felt like weight was lifted off my shoulders. Yes, I was still pissed about losing the hardcore champion in WTW, but you know what? I moved on from it. I went in Tcaps. I won the hardcore title in Tcaps, but it wasn't the same as it was in WTW, I guess. And I won a couple of things in there. Then all of a sudden, the Destroyer and me just started to get in a big fights. Like, that's what best friends do. You get in big fights. And then I decided to create Divas Division. Courtney Taylor got involved with our fight, and it was just a big, giant mess. And I didn't know what to do. But at that point in time, Tcaps was rising, and it was rising really good. See, and then there's like, there was just stuff I needed to. Alright, let's start off, let's say this. So after all that happened, there was Tcaps Mania, a couple pay-per-views, and there was big main events that the Destroyer was in, and he didn't show up, and I got pissed at him every time, and that's where really all the fights started, the Twitter war a little bit, and stuff like that. I didn't go on Twitter enough, so I didn't give a shit what he said, but anyway, besides that, there was something that I was just thinking of over those periods of time. I know the Destroyer wanted a once in a lifetime in WTW, but I think it's time to have a once in a lifetime in Tcaps. But see, he didn't want that. So that was also part of the big deal shenanigans with the fighting and stuff. But wait a minute. Before even all this started, there was the first Intercontinental Champion, and his name was the Destroyer. So, the Destroyer was the first ever Intercontinental Champion of Tcaps. It was crazy. He held on to that champion for such a long time. It was unbelievable. But the only reason why he held on it for so long happened in the beginning when he just started off his reign as Tcaps Intercontinental Champion. He wanted to be the longest Intercontinental Champion that there was of all time on Tcaps. And so, you know, me and him being best friends and all, you know, I kind of like tweaked up a little things. I've helped him a lot. Like, again, remember I said about Ahmed Tcap? Ahmed wanted to face the Destroyer for the Intercontinental Championship one day. I screwed Ahmed over because of the Destroyer, because, you know, he's my best friend. So, that was in the beginning, when he first started, when he holded it. I went on, I was like, you know what, no more screw drops. And at that time, anyway, I didn't like Ahmed Tcap because of something I'll get into later once again, because I'm also going to have a whole nother chapter on Ahmed. About the Destroyer, he went through so much to hold on that Intercontinental Championship. He held that Intercontinental Championship for 165 days straight. He's actually been the longest champion that has ever been in Tcaps right now. 165 days is a lot of days. He wanted it to be at least for a year, but you know what? I couldn't be that lenient with it. To, you know, be a fair CEO, and I had to be a fair ref. So that's what I started to do. Like, there was risks of doing that with the Destroyer, but like, it wouldn't be fair to treat him like he's above everybody and treat everybody else different. I started to treat him the same for a lot of reasons. So I did treat him the same. So, and one day, Nick Ferrone, I can't remember the exact date, but it was a historic night. A night nobody saw coming. From one person. But it was an open fight night, which is now called Highway to Hell. But on that night, somebody came out, and they challenged the one, the only destroyer.